This is The Real Shift with Templeton Walker
and Kristen Cantrell,
where we break down all things Real Broker, why we both decided to move our businesses to Real Brokerage. We interview top agents from across the nation, like you're going to hear today. You guys, welcome back to the Real Shift podcast with Templeton Walker and Kristen Cantrell, who is not with us today on this episode, but we have the one and only Joel Kirsch, who is the SVP of Growth at Real Brokerage, the fastest growing brokerage in the nation. Joel is not only a really important person, he is my friend. Welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, Temp? It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time. I know you're bringing over an indie brokerage in 20 minutes, so we're going to keep this jam-packed, full of value. That's what you do so often. So I just want people to kind of know, we don't have enough time for the full backstory. Just trust me, guys, when I say he's a badass, and he's done incredible things, and he's in the role that he's in for a reason. But now where you are right now, what are you working on? What do you do at Real? Can you give me the cliff notes on that so people just have some context?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been at Real, January will be 8 years. I started originally as a recruiter, outbound sales to get people to try to join Real. And it's been a wild ride since then. So now I'm the SVP of Growth. I manage the growth team. My day-to-day is a lot of conversations with independent broker owners, franchises, and large teams to help ease the transition over to Real. So we work through their compensation models, their revenue share structures, transition periods, kind of like open business that they have. Really just make sure that what they are expecting at Real is what they're actually getting at Real. And so that is value, that is tools, technology, benefits, AI, everything that we do here at Real.
Dude, I can say, because I've worked with you bringing some larger teams, and it's not so easy when just a solo agent's coming over. When you're moving the whole company, there's so much logistics, and it's kind of hard for the lay person that's out selling real estate, me, to explain it. And the way you've been able to jump in and help that transition and make sure that the promises we're making are actually kept has been a game changer. Because you see so often a lot of people grow, but then there's so much attrition that it doesn't really add up. So I've seen those promises be made at other places perhaps, and then people are like, they feel like they kind of got bait and switched of this is not what we talked about.
Yeah.
I just want to commend you because I've seen that firsthand, and then the experiences that the larger teams and groups I've brought over, they're still here and loving it and bought in because it was what they thought it was.
Yeah.
So if a broker owner or an indie or a large team is looking at Real right now, what are the things that are causing them to look, in your experience, like the conversation you're going to have in 15 minutes? What is causing them to look? What are some common hurdles they have to jump through? And then lastly, reasons why they're coming over.
For sure. So I think maybe I'll probably start with the last one first. And I think that the reason that everyone is kind of having these conversations right now is the industry's changing. And across the board, agents, and more specifically larger organizations, they have to get value out of whatever platform it is that they end up partnering with, because at the end of the day, the market is tough, interest rates are high, agents are moving, and value has to be built into the model. And so many organizations, the other part of your question is why? And part of that is they're not seeing the value where they're at, right? And so Real, as a firm, we think of ourselves more as a platform for agents to build their businesses on top of. So our North Star, if you will, is flexibility for these organizations, how they charge their agents, how they charge their clients, the ability to have other sources of revenue, right, through revenue share and stock awards, even as much as things like health insurance benefits. A lot of times people don't really think about those types of things, but at scale, being able to say, hey, part of being in this organization is not only your real estate commissions, but you have the opportunity to build wealth, to pass that on to another generation, to protect your health in the future, the health of your family. So there's so many different parts to it that are just the benefits, and we haven't even really gotten into the tools. A lot of the franchises and larger teams, especially independents, they kind of reach a ceiling in their growth where they're either bootstrapped to geographic territory, or a lot of times with independents, they hit critical mass where they have this churn rate where they bring people in, they train them up, and then they eventually go to another firm or another team or go independent and they start their own shop. And so they kind of reach a critical mass of we can't really grow anymore where we're at. So they have to provide more value. And that's where the Real platform really comes into play for them. It allows them to say, actually, I do want to open up another office. Actually, I do want to open up in another state, and I want to grow this organization beyond my current means. The only way to do that is to have the tools, but also the operational platform to build off of.
I love that answer because I've seen it firsthand. When we look at our technology stack, right, as a publicly traded company, we've invested so much money. Whenever an indie comes over and looks at the tech, it's almost no comparison. And it's like, hey, you can have this. And especially with the private label, what do we call that? Is it private label?
Yeah, private label program.
With private label, where they're able to keep their brand, keep their forward facing the way they want, but plug into the platform, to use your word, which I love. That's a game changer. And then when you talk about owning and running a business, especially real estate teams, which oftentimes run on small margin, every dollar counts. So like when you're getting that stock reward back or you're getting revenue share, and then a big piece, Joel, that I think about is those indies or those teams that train and create great agents and then they leave. Well, there's no place for them to graduate to unless you're in a model like ours, where it doesn't have to be a sad day when that agent leaves. It can actually be like a graduation day where I give you a big hug, I hand you a playbook and I go, dude, go grow the biggest thing possible and I'm here to support you. Because I still have a monetary incentive, which weird human beings, when they have a monetary incentive, they tend to work a little harder and be more engaged.
Yeah. So I love how you say, and we've talked about this previously, which is not just the flexibility for the owners, but for every agent, right? So when we talk with larger organizations, it's like, well, I'm not sure that this person would, I turn away a certain number of agents every time we have these conversations. And it's like, great, where do they go? Like, I don't know. Like I talk to them, I interview them, they're not a good fit for us, so they move on. And part of the breadth of the organization that we have is you can bring people in, you can set them free, you can attract to Real, you can attract to your team, you can even turn your office into its own revenue stream where other agents that maybe don't have a team or an organization, they need like a physical place to go, so they can bring in other Real agents as well. So they, like, right out of the gate, there's 3 options for them when they're having conversations with agents. Hey, you can have the team, you can have the leads and the support. You don't want that? Great. You can still join Real and have access to all the tools and the benefits. You're already here at Real. Oh, you need an office space? Great. You can come and use the office space for X amount of dollars a month. So just giving flexibility to people is really the direction that I think that most organizations and agents are looking for. Because I think agents at their core are like the purest form of entrepreneurs. No one really wants to be told how to do it, but they want to have the access to be able to do whatever it is that they decide to do.
I was talking with another indie guy who I like. He runs a really good brokerage, but he was just like, I could never conform to a big box. And I'm like, I just think that oftentimes it can feel like if you're not on your own, that I think of like Jocko Willenick, discipline equals freedom, right? And he's like, I want to do whatever I want, however I want. But to your point, you have a lot of agents that might not be a good fit for that brokerage. Where do they go? Where actually the larger platform gives you the ability to build more creative and more width in your offering than you could on your own. So it's like, yeah, you feel like you have more freedom, but what if you didn't have a great fit for your team or a great fit for your brokerage, but it's someone that wants to come to the fastest growing brokerage in the nation, a national brand? Well, you can still help that person, but you're not like personally responsible for them and their success every single day the way a team member might be. And if you own the brokerage though, you're 100% on the hook for that. You know what I mean? So just, I think about my network, and I always share openly because I'm just like an open book. Like I'm over 615 people now. Dude, I know like 80 of them. But I'm earning income from 615 agents, and I'm so thankful for it because the width, because the platform has way more capacity than I would ever have individually.
Yeah. Well, I think what's cool about what you're doing and what a lot of people are doing is you can't fake culture and community, right? You can talk about benefits till you're blue in the face, but to your point, 1, can you deliver on that? And 2, what's the community around it, right? Because you can give someone every tool in the world, but if they're in an environment where there's not the community that helps them understand how to use it or how to be successful in it, they're never going to do it. You know what I mean? And so being able to build a community like you have with 600 plus people with the 80 or so people that you know is a testament to the community that you've built. It is a collaborative community. It's a community around not just attraction, but production. And if you have community and you have production, the attraction in and of itself comes naturally because people want to go where people use the tools, where people make the money, where there's community, where there's events happening and things that are going on in their local marketplace. And that's something that we really try really hard to protect, right? And it's about the culture, it's about the agents, about all of you. And that's really something that we push hard as well. It's not just the tools and the benefits, but we have a great culture here as well.
I got to tell you, like I always say, like any realtor, any productive realtor that likes math should come to Real, just from a math component. Like I'm like, if you like math, like you're good. Let me just show you what that looks like. If you're selling 2.5, 3 homes a month and you like math, you should be here. But when you add the culture in, and that's the piece that is the game changer, but it's like this silent value that is, it doesn't have like, I'm a huge sports guy. Basketball was my life. It's that guy who dives on the floor for the ball and sets like nasty screens, back screens, so your star player gets open. That doesn't show up in the stat book, but it is a very real, tangible thing. And what Real has is it has this culture that breeds more enthusiasm and excitement about the work. And because it's so open and collaborative, I just brought an agent over today with a young agent. He has a younger agent that wants to come with him, but he was like, I don't feel comfortable fully sponsoring him. Could we co-sponsor? I didn't bring this guy over. He's not even in my line. And like now we're collaborating because the tentacles of Real allow us to connect. And one of the things that they talked about, they're like, Temp, we just kind of want to be near you because like I'm a high vibration situation, you know what I mean? They're like, can we just like come to any of this? I was, absolutely, right? But that culture is not suppressed by Real. You guys empower it and you guys add to it. So I'm just so thankful, and I think the culture is a very real point.
I agree. We don't just add to it; we mandate it. So part of our core values here is collaboration over competition. That's like baked into everything that we do, and I think that that's clear from the conversations with the agents all the way up through the C-suite. One of the reasons I've been able to be here for 8 years is because of the leadership of the organization. I truly believe when I started the job, and I still believe to this day, the company really will invest anything and everything that we possibly can into the agents. It's not just about how much money can we make as an organization. It's about how much we can pour back into the agents, because if you do that, then it flows down to the top. You cannot manufacture that. That's something that has to naturally happen. I have been in situations with our CEO, we're like, hey, we can do option A or we can do option B. And he says, what's better for the agent? And like, I know that that's the answer, right? And so that's how we strive to do that every single day.
Well, and it comes through in the fact that you're on my podcast today, mine and Kristen's podcast, right? Like we are, everyone's an important piece of this company. And yeah, we have like larger organizations. So that's amazing that you're doing this for us. But like most people aren't getting someone at your level to jump on their indie podcast. And you know what I mean? Like just, and the amount of access I've had to the C-suite and the executives and how much you guys pour into our agents, and you guys, we can meet you, we can shake your hand, we can share feedback. You guys listen to feedback. You guys have made pivots based on what we do. It's just been a blessing, man. It's been the best brokerage I've ever been at. I've been here 3 years. I'm never going anywhere. I think you guys are going to name me CEO soon. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, probably. That's why.
Yeah, probably. I'm like the most buttoned up C-suite. I'm the most buttoned up C-suite guy that you guys will ever meet.
For sure.
Joel, what you're about to go close a massive deal, which I'm so excited about. Before you go, what's a final thought that you can leave people with that are considering Real? Obviously, they're going to name me sponsor, but they're going to get to meet you too. They're going to name Kristen sponsor. We're going to help them in our local way. But why should they come to Real? Like, what does those closing words look like?
You might want to come to Real for the things that are big and shiny, but you stay at Real for the community. You stay at Real for the people that you work with and you spend every day with, because kind of, not to circle back to the same thing, but the tools are kind of like the how, the why is the people. You might come because you can have access to all these different things, but you stay because you find your tribe. And there are many tribes. There's the investor crew, there's the large team crew, there's the solo high performing crew, there's the new agents that want to get plugged into all of these different rooms. And I think that if an agent is considering looking at any company, they should decide on the company based on where they want to be in life, not necessarily what they get right this second. Where can I go that I'm going to be able to grow and be flexible and build a business how I want? And I think that Real's the place for that.
Dude, well said. That's a mic drop. Where can people connect with you and find you? I mean, I know, is it Instagram? Is it email? What's the best way? I mean, be careful also whatever you give out right now, because a lot of people have been listening. So.
No, that's great. You can find me on Instagram. It's just my last name _ first name, so Kirsch Joel. Pretty backwards. It's a little bit unique, but also you can get us at the Growth team, growth@onereal.com. That goes to myself and the entire Growth team. If you have questions, you can get a hold of me or anybody on the team. We have folks coast to coast, and we're here to help.
Joel, I appreciate you. Go crush that appointment, man. I'm excited. I'm about to go take a $2.3 million listing because that's what your boy does.
There we go.
Call me if you need me.
Thank you, Temp. I appreciate you having me today.
Thanks, Joel. Bye.